Um, so first, can you tell me who you live with?
I live alone. Partially, my boyfriend visits me a lot, so often he stays over the weekend, and then yeah. But most of the time, I live alone.
Okay. And how long have you lived in this flat?
Exactly 1 year.
Okay.
I moved in last year, ending of September.
And did you live around the area previously?
No, I lived in Regensdorf, which is like 20 minutes away from here with the car. I used to live with my family, and then I moved out.
Okay. Okay. And so far, how do you like living in your flat?
I like it a lot. Well, I'm not here most of the time, but I like it to be alone and yeah, having peace. Although there are a lot of kids, but yeah.
Yeah, we heard them last time. So can you please talk me what a typical day looks like for you?
So usually I wake up in the morning, get some breakfast if possible, and then I leave the home. And we'll turn back around 8 or maybe 10 p.m. in the evening. And then I eat dinner, sit on the sofa, watch TV if I sleep, and then move into the bedroom around 2 a.m. So that's a typical day of mine.
Okay. And is this also similar during the weekends?
Sometimes, yeah. But more often Saturdays is the day that I clean, then I move a lot around in the house. But most of the time, recently I work a lot during the weekend.
Okay. And you mentioned that you work away from home, or do you sometimes work in the home?
Sometimes I work in the home. Monday used to be my off day, but sometimes when there's an emergency, I work on Monday.
Okay. And where do you normally work when you're at home?
Well, here in the dining area.
Okay. Is that also where you eat your meals?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And you're not at home for a lot of the time. And what do you think is the room you use the most?
I think it's the living room. Yeah.
Is it the one you feel most comfortable in?
Yes. Especially watching TV, I fell asleep fast, so I spent a lot of time here.
Okay. And do you feel that your routine has changed a lot since you moved into this flat?
Yes, I think I'm more. I think I'm more at. No, I'm not more at home, but I stay a lot at the same place. When I was living with my family, I moved a lot because I have siblings, so I'll be everywhere cleaning and helping out. And since I'm here, I have a better routine, I would say.
Okay. And how does your routine change, for example, when your partner comes?
Well, it doesn't change much. It doesn't.
Okay.
Well, he's just here.
Okay.
Every time you do whatever you want.
Okay, perfect. And what are you looking for in a home? What are some of the criteria that is important to you?
That I feel comfortable. That's the most important thing. That I feel comfortable with the neighbors around. This is a big house, so I don't see them often, which I find quite okay. But if it would be a smaller house, I think it's also important that the neighbors are comfortable with living.
Okay. How did you choose this flat?
I chose it randomly, so I was looking for a apartment which is cheap. And this is a Genossenschaft, like a community, and the flats are cheap, so I applied for it, and then first they declined it, and then later on they gave it to me. Yeah, so through Google and all that.
How long was the process that you applied and then got it?
Well, I think after a week of applying, I got the decline. And then 2 months later, they called me, and after that, it went really fast. I think I didn't have a chance to say no. But yeah, it went really fast.
So they offered this flat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because it was a new building, I had the ability to choose 3 flats, and I think this was my first one. And I was happy to get it.
Okay. How were the other flats different to this flat?
I think they were quite smaller. The bedroom was smaller, that one I remember, and was important to me is that the kitchen and the living room were together and open. So I looked more for that, and I think some are closed kitchen.
Mm.
Yeah.
You like open plan living
Yeah.
then? Okay. Okay. And did you find the whole process of getting in touch with them and being put on the waiting list, did you find that process easy?
For me, as a single person, it was okay and easy. And I have experienced it with my family. This is more sophisticated because you have to watch other criteria, and the income is important. So yeah, for me as a single person, it was easy, and I was living at home, so I was not in a hurry to find an apartment.
Did you always grow up in cooperatives?
Yeah.
Okay. And what has been your experience? Has it been a positive one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned that they were like 20 minutes away by car. Did you always live in that area?
We used to live in the city. We used to live in a smaller apartment, and then after we got more, so we had to move out. And the flats in the city are very expensive, so we had to go outside of the city. And then we lived in Regensdorf, I think, for 4 years, and then I moved out. Yeah.
And if you were to select a home in the future, what criteria would you use after experiencing living in this flat by yourself and already having that experience? How would you choose?
I think I would choose something similar to this because I like it. Everything is here. They have the shops and all that, and the kids and the families around here, and it's quite away from the city. So if you come back home, you are away from work. And yeah, I think I would choose something similar to that. But living in the city was also fun because everything was close, but everything was expensive. Yeah.
Okay. How long do you think you'll live here? Do you have more or less an idea of how long you would like?
Well, I can't say. I can't say. Maybe 3 or 4 years, but I can't say.
Okay. Is there something you wish you would have known before moving in?
But I wish I would have known that the kids can be loud.
Yeah, you're right underneath a
It's
playground.
really extreme sometimes, but I don't mind. I'm used to the noise, but yeah, sometimes it's really extreme.
Okay.
And all that.
Okay. What are some of the things that you like about your home?
I think it's quite modern, but still there is something that reminds me of the olden days. I don't know what it is, but like it's something between modern and old fashioned. I like that.
Okay. Do you like how the layout is and how the design is?
Yes, especially the bedroom. I think that's why I chose it. It's not a typical square bedroom. It's very special, and I like that.
Okay. And what are some of the things you dislike about it? You mentioned already kind of the noise and the children. Are there any other aspects you dislike?
The bathroom. Well, I think I have quite a lot of space, but the showering area is very small. I think they could have used it better. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other areas in your home that you feel don't have enough space?
No. I think I have quite a lot of space.
Okay. And what do you think about like comfort, for example, ventilation, heating, light? Are you comfortable in your home?
I am comfortable in my home. In the beginning, I thought there was too much light. It was a lot of light, but I'm getting used to it right now. Yeah.
Was your previous home a bit darker?
Yes, it was. It was much more. There was forest around it and all that, so they covered it.
Yeah, you do get a lot of light.
Yeah.
And for example, with heating, does the amount of light also generate heat?
Yes, it does. So what I do is I cover everything in the morning and make sure that the fresh air comes in. And then when I leave for work, it's dark. So when I come back, it's cool inside.
Okay. And what about the finishes in your apartment? You mentioned that you like that it's modern. Do you think the finishes are modern?
Yes, they are modern. What surprised me is that they gave a bit of cheap. When I entered here for the first time, I thought like, okay, it's modern and new, but somehow it looks a bit cheap because the quality was really bad in the beginning,
Mm.
and we had to go through some process of them coming in and repairing some stuff.
Okay. When you recently moved in, was it still in process of being finished?
Well, they said they are done, but in my opinion, they are not done. Like for example, when you look at the windows, the sides, sometimes there's a hole in there, which I find very sad that they didn't repair. But apparently they don't do it. They will leave it like that.
Okay. What are some of the things that you've had to get repaired or asked to be repaired?
For example, the floor to the ceiling, there was a huge gap. Sometimes you can still see it. They had to cover it, and then they had to remove a whole wall in my bedroom to cover it again. Yeah, and it wasn't clean in the beginning, so I went in there and had to clean everything.
Well, I imagine that must have been stressful.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. How long did that process last of having to get things fixed at the beginning?
Well, we were finished, I think, last month in August. They came for the last time. Yeah, so almost a year.
Okay. Oh well, yeah. And is there anything you can't do because you don't have the right amount of space or enough space?
No.
Okay. Do you see yourself wanting or needing more space in the future?
Well, if I live alone, no.
Okay. Okay. What makes you feel safe at home?
I think having a full refrigerator and a sofa is enough for me. I don't have a lot of things at home.
Okay. Do you feel you have privacy at home?
Yes, when I close the things here, then it's fine for me. Yeah.
Okay. If not, yeah, people can see you. Okay. And what are some of the things that make you feel safe in your neighborhood?
What I find quite interesting is that we have an app where we can communicate with everyone around here, and I've seen that the app has really been active. So when you lose something, people text you and all that, or when they find something strange, they inform you. And yeah, I think it's the neighbor. The neighbor make it quite safe. They are very open with each other, which is not typical for Switzerland. And yeah.
Do you know your neighbors in your building?
Some of them I know them.
Okay.
So before we moved in, we had a meeting with those who live quite close to me, and we talked and exchanged some words.
Okay. Is that something that's important to you?
Yes, I think.
Okay. Is there anything you would want to make your neighborhood better or safer?
Well, no, I can't tell right now. I've never been in a situation where I don't feel safe, so I can't tell.
Okay, that's good. What do you think of the communal areas of the neighborhood?
Well, can't say much because I've always been home and then I leave for work, but I think it's beautiful.
I mean, just looking at them, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, not that you use the children's playground, but just also in terms of what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's something that you like.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And if you had the opportunity to change any additional aspects of your home, would you change something?
In the beginning, it was the balcony because it was too beton. Like it was a bit cold. Actually, everything here was cold in the beginning before the greens grew. But right now, looking at it, I think I made the best out of it, and I'm fine with it. But for the future, maybe I wouldn't recommend to have beton as a layout. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, probably before everybody moved in, it was also really cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, and so you said that in your previous home where you lived with your family, it was a bit darker. Did you also not have open plan living?
Um,
Like, was the kitchen separate? Because you mentioned that something that you liked about this place is that the kitchen is open.
yeah,
How was it in your previous home?
the kitchen was closed, but at that time I was happy that it was closed because my mom cooked African food and this can be really intense. And the kitchen was closed, and I choose an open kitchen because I move a lot, so that I don't have to open the door. Or it's much faster to reach the kitchen.
Okay. So for you, it's useful living with your family. It wasn't. So,
Yeah.
okay, perfect. How do you feel your home impacts your health and your well-being?
Well, I think if you have a home where you feel comfortable, you can relax better. And I can see the difference between now and living with my family, because when you come in a house where people are around and it's active, then you can't cool down. But since I live here, I come at home, I'm here, and I can sit and relax.
Did you feel that you didn't have enough space when you were living back at home?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. How would you define, for example, how much space is adequate per person?
I think it's not even the space, but it's the people who are around, because I have little siblings, so they will come and tell me everything they did and want to play and all that. And I can actually sit here for more than 3 hours and I feel comfortable and think that I have enough space. Yeah.
Okay. So more like having your own privacy
Yeah.
would be good. Yeah. Okay. And what is something unique about your flat?
Well, I think it's this glass thing over there, which is very special but sometimes hard to clean. And I think they did it so that the light will also be in the corridor, but after moving in here, I was like, actually, there's enough light here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is quite unique. Do you feel, so in the survey you said that you spend more or less 20% of your income on rent. Do you feel that your home is affordable?
Yes, for a single person, yes. Comparing to other countries, I think it's still expensive, but there is this rule in Zurich that your flat expenses shouldn't be more than 1/3 of your income.
Okay. So together with the rent and the bills and everything, does that meet the 1/3 rule?
Without the bills, it's just the flat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you find that the bills and everything else is very expensive?
Yes, yeah. Well, now living alone and not having to take care of anyone, it's okay, but I think for the future, it's a lot.
Okay. How do you define a decent home standard? Like, what criteria, if you were to define what an ideal home should be, what criteria would go into that?
I think having a room, having a living room, bedroom, a kitchen is enough, and bathroom, of course. And what I really like here is that they give us extra wardrobes to be able to put in your things, and that's important for me.
Okay. So has the last 4 days changed how you view your home? The last week, sorry, not the last 4 days.
Oh well, yes, I've realized that I'm not at home at all. And I thought that maybe my way of living would be boring, because most of the time I'm in my bedroom or here quick and then I'm out.
Okay.
Yes, but I've thought of that maybe I should work a little more less and stay home.
Okay.